These past couple of months have been jam-packed and we won't be slowing down anytime soon. Over the next few weeks, James and I will be making our way across the country to find a spot that fits both of our needs. We are moving out of Utah. So this is going to be the route we take. We're going to go from Salt Lake City to Moab, which is our favorite place in Utah. Then we'll drive through Monument Valley to Arizona, where we'll hit a couple of our must-see desert locations.
Quite grand, isn't it?
After Arizona, we're going to go from New Mexico to Houston. That will be the longest leg of the trip. When we get there, James will link up with a friend for a photo walk of the city. Then from Houston, we'll drive 6 hours to New Orleans for another photo shoot. And then we will drive about 9 hours to spend time in South Carolina with our family for the holidays.
Christina, what's going on?
I'm pretty sure that I just saw a puppy running on the side of the road. So we're gonna go investigate, because if it's a puppy, we can just bring it to a shelter in Arizona. Good Samaritan. Right there.
Oh my gosh, it is a puppy. Oh my god. Hey there, buddy. Come here.
Come here, puppy.
Come on.
Away from the road.
Oh, he squeaked.
Can you go get one of Cooper's dog treats in the car?
Yeah. You're about to have a little friend. He's so far out in the middle of nowhere.
And that, friends, is how you wrangle a puppy.
Wow, it might be one of these people.
Yeah, I say let's go down there and see if he's anybody's. Hi.
Oh my gosh.
Aww. Look at his little hip bone.
So far out here though, it's crazy.
Oh, he's sheeping. Hey, do you guys live here? Do you guys have we found a puppy running around in the road.
Somebody probably threw him off over there.
No way.
Yeah, right now they're not accepting any animals in the shelters. That's probably why somebody just threw it off right there.
That's sad.
Yeah, a lot of these dogs are from the highway. We just keep seeing them.
You want another one?
I don't know, it's this guy. I live over there on that side.
Think we should do it, or should we bring him to like a shelter?
No, I think that's better. They live here, so I think they'll probably have better.
Okay. I kind of wanted to keep him, but I was thinking rationally about all of the things that we have going on, and like animal shelters aren't accepting animals because of COVID. So it would just be a really poor decision on our end.
It would just be a lot of work, really.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work. It's fun for a couple days, but I mean, Cooper's our little burden.
Much appreciation to random kind strangers.
Yes. As for the rest of the trip, James and I drove for ages, but we stopped along the way. One of James's only requests was that we go see the Behringer Crater.
Yes. We did.
Hey James, what's about to happen?
We're gonna go look at Behringer Crater, which is a crater that was created 50,000 years ago by a meteor. It's in the middle of the desert in Arizona, and I have been obsessed with this crater for a long time, so I'm excited. Big hole.
Yeah.
But it's absolute.
So I can imagine this is probably pretty impressive on camera, but it's one of those things that you don't quite feel the gravity of it unless you see it in person. It's pretty cool.
You know where this reminds me of?
What?
Idaho.
Craters of the Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Idaho, it was like this very vast open field, and then all of a sudden, something interesting.
Yeah, just this black, charred looking landscape.
Idaho, am I right, guys?
Yeah.
So after Behringer Crater, we went to another semi-popular spot in Arizona called the Grand Canyon. This may be an unpopular opinion personally, but I was less than impressed by the Grand Canyon, and I'm not saying that the Grand Canyon wasn't grand and it wasn't great. It was really nice. I think Utah just spoiled us. We saw so many beautiful places in Utah. There's Dead Horse Point, there's Little Grand Canyon, Moab. Just all of Utah was so magnificent that when we went to the Grand Canyon, I was like, oh, you see a big canyon, you see them all.
It was cool though. Grand Canyon was fantastic.
It was okay. So my whole thing is I do underwater photography. I'm in the middle of the desert. Where am I gonna find water? Well, a little bit of Googling, and I found some water. It was a little bit off-road. It's a lot of bit off-road. I mean, an hour and a half on a bumpy road. I did not plan for it.
The whole time I was preparing for something to happen to our car, and
Which it did. We'll get to that in a
we'll
second.
get to that in a second. But for some reason we realized we weren't going to film there, right?
Well, it was cold and we were there during the wrong light. Lighting plays the biggest role in terms of underwater photography, and the light wasn't hitting the water. So we just drove an hour and a half on the most god-awful road and found out that, oh, well, granted, we were both hungry and grumpy, but when we got there, we found out that this shoot isn't going to work out. I'm in a bad mood because everything's taking forever. I'm just gonna hop in the water. Hopefully it helps. If not, then I'll just be cold. I changed my mind. I'm just gonna be in a bad mood.
Even Cooper's timid.
Go on, Cooper, go on.
How quickly does she come up? First off, if you're in a bad mood with your spouse, go find some cold water and jump in it together. It will change everything for you.
That's like marital advice that we've only taken one time and that we will never do again.
You will not get that from any marriage therapist.
Yeah.
I think looking back, it's one of those things that's not like as you're preparing to do it, there are parts of it that are not so fun. It's hard. But looking back on it, these are the things you tell stories about. I feel like I went to another dimension there. Now, on the way back, the thing that I was worried about occurring took place. And that was, we happened to go over a particularly large rock.
Something.
We heard a huge ka-thunk. I think we heard some dragging. And we then realized that it had ripped the inside tire fender thing off.
Wheel well.
Multi-tool, here to save the day, yeah.
There it is. Watch me like hit a really important line. That was so easy.
Wow.
I was proud of us because we were prepared for that moment. We didn't need to call AAA.
Anybody who has any knowledge of car design is screaming at us right now because we keep calling it a bumper.
Oh,
or
I'm sorry.
fender.
So it's a wheel well. Anyway, James and I moved across the country during the busiest month of the year for advertising. We were really, really busy with work. We were filming things. We had to move all of our stuff across the country as well as product that we needed to shoot because a lot of companies, they send us loads of products and we shoot photos for them, we shoot videos for them, we make it into ads, and that's what pays the bills. So we were working, we were enjoying ourselves, we were trying not to go too crazy. Oh yeah. Oh, just do it. After Arizona, we kind of got itchy feet. Like we were ready to let's just get the rest of the trip over with.
Yeah.
So we did that. We zoomed through the second half of the trip pretty well, I think.
Yeah, we went through Texas very quickly. We drove all of Texas in one day after we stopped in El Paso.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
I am walking around downtown Houston right now. I think I'm by the Chevron building. There's a lot of oil and gas buildings here. I should be working, but to be honest, I'm just tired. We've been going non-stop for like legit 3 weeks at this point. No, longer than that. We're trying to figure out where we want to plant our feet for the next year or so. I'm tired of kind of not knowing what is next. This is not abnormal for us, and I have to remind myself that these things come in waves. They're little chapters of life, and that's totally fine and that's totally normal. But man, it's exhausting. I will say though, driving back across the country 4 years from the first time that we did it is really surreal, and I'm very proud of what we've done and what we've accomplished in these last 4 years, and I'm stoked on what the next 4 years will be like.
When you listen to these hustle podcasts, go out, change the world and freaking build a business and move and all this stuff, they never talk about how hard moving is. My dad like tears up, and it's like,
you're gonna get at me going again.
It was tough. It was really tough. It was super tough.
When we pulled off, we were just like, when we both got in the car, we were just silent. And then from there, tears, lots of them. So we are coming back to the East Coast on very different terms than we left it, and I think that's really, really cool. Anyway, that is a little bit of insight and reality to what looks like really, really fun. Like, we're crushing it all the time. We are crushing it, but we're also just, our heads are spinning. I have like 30 things on my to-do list right now, which is probably why I shouldn't be on a walk, but I mean, I'm only here for a couple days and I can work at night. I don't like to work at night, but that's kind of what I decided today.
Then we carried on to New Orleans.
We made it to New Orleans. We are parked illegally near the port of New Orleans. There's a bridge, and we're working quickly because James wants to get a photo. There's a car coming out of that gate. We're gonna get in trouble, but that's okay. Always ask for forgiveness, never ask for permission. That's not true. At that point, we were like, let's just be done. Let's just be done with the entire trip. So we drove
Grand finale.
9.5 hours to South Carolina and spent the holidays over there. And then we didn't film any of it because we were just mentally beat. We were tired. We just worked the longest month of the year. And then on top of that, we drove across the country. So we just took it really, really easy in South Carolina. And then now we're in Florida. So we're in Florida for the time being. Who knows how long we'll stay here. We chose Florida because it's warm, and because it's not cold. So
palm trees.
We just wanted to be in more of a tropical environment. So Florida's our home for the time being, and we're super happy with it. This is our apartment. Honestly, that's it. I don't think I have anything else, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.
Bye.